Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video today here on Codename Pizza, and welcome to the Easter egg guide for Ashes of the Damned for Black Ops 7 Zombies. This Easter egg is relatively difficult, so good luck and sit back, relax, and enjoy this thing. Make sure you subscribe if you are brand new, and also leave a like if it helps you out. Let's do this thing. So as soon as you spawn into the map, you want to make sure that you do everything in terms of power inside of the map, and I assume if you want to do the Easter egg, you know how to activate the power. Make sure you got the power activated inside of Ashwoods, inside of Farm, and also inside of Blackwater. Obviously, you've done that by removing the spores off the power switches and then turning the actual switches on. Also make sure after you finish Ashwood that you also apply the pack punch part to the Tessy vehicle, and then you are ready to start this quest. So your first Easter egg step is going to take place on round 5 or afterwards, but it will start to spawn on round 5. This is located inside of the diner area of the map, or exit 115. Inside of that area, you will get a special zombie on round 5 or above that will spawn in, and when you kill that, you will receive some keys on the ground. You pick these keys up, you open up the freezer inside of the diner, which will have your next upgrade, which is the Margwa heads to the Tessy Wonder vehicle. Go back to the Ashwoods and place this upgrade on the Tessy vehicle. You're now going to collect a load of items from killing specific enemies in specific orders, doing specific things. For the Ravengers that you get on a Ravenger round, you have to kill one of these with one of the traps that you either find inside of Farm or inside of the diner. This will then drop the eyes for the Ravenger. Another part that you can go and get is apart from one of the purple plants that are located inside of the drive-through areas between main areas of the map. So we're talking about the roads that connect them. You'll see these purple plants. There should be one in every single area. You're going to use the upgraded Margwa heads from the Tessy upgrade that you just built on these purple plants, and you'll get another one of your serum parts. Another part that you're going to be going to get is inside of Blackwater, and it's inside of the kitchen area inside of the house, and this is going to be the jar of spores. When you pick this up, you can then make your way over to the farm area of the map and place these spores down on this dead cow outside the farm. Now that you've placed this down, in 3 rounds from now, this will then turn into an actual mushroom that you can pick up, and that's another part of your serum that you're going to need for the next Easter egg step. Another part that you can get is also located inside a farm. You're going to be throwing a tomahawk at this hanging body inside of the barn, mainly on the foot area of this hanging body, and then when the foot falls off onto the ground, you're going to be throwing a Molotov at that foot, and it will burn the flesh off and turn to bone, and you can pick up that bone foot. Now you can get a free tomahawk inside of the exit 115 diner inside of the kitchen if you are not a high enough rank to get a tomahawk, or you can also get a free Molotov inside of the garage or just outside of the garage inside of the Ashwood area of the map as well. If you're not a high enough rank or you can't afford those things with salvage, you can still get this part. Another item that you're going to go and collect right now is on round 8 or above, and that's going to be located inside of Janus Towers. You're going to make your way over to this truck just outside the main area of Janus Towers, and when you approach that on round 8 or later, an Uber Klouse will spawn in. Just instantly kill that Uber Klouse and he'll drop a stabilization chip. You can then take that stabilization chip over to Klouse's cage that's actually inside of the Ashwoods area jail cell room. You apply that to the jail cell and then wait until it tells you that restart is required. You're now going to be throwing some stun grenades at Klouse. This is really finicky, really difficult to activate Klouse, but a stun grenade will eventually activate him and he'll come to life and exit the cage. You can get a free stun grenade from the Janus Towers area as well if you can somehow magically do this with 1 stun grenade. Then once he's spawned in, bring him over to the Cosmodrome area. You're going to stand him in front of this machine, and then when he comes over and stamps next to the machine, you'll see that it's now turned on. You'll be able to activate the panel, and then you're going to stand in the circle that spawns on the ground. And you need to make sure that you protect yourself and protect that circle by killing the purple-eyed zombies that are coming towards you. When you've been on that circle long enough, you'll see the progress bar is filled up, and it'll then reveal an ether barrel from the wall. You'll be able to pick this ether barrel up, and you're going to be taking that ether barrel to each power area that you've already turned on inside of the map. So 1 over at Ashwoods, 1 over at Blackwater, and 1 over at Farm. You must protect that ether canister from purple-eyed zombies when it's filling up with power, and you're also going to be timed when you're moving this from each of those locations. And your job is to get them all filled up without running out of time, and then finishing off inside of the farm area, where you're then going to drop the canister in front of this eye box underground. The eye will then come to life on this eye box. If you go to the jump pad that connects Farm and also Janus Towers, you'll notice that on the rooftops, you'll see 3 symbols. These symbols will change every single game you play, and we're going to be inputting these symbols into the eye box that we just turned on. Now, this is really, really easy. You cycle through on the eye box which symbols you want just by interacting with each side. And these symbols cannot be duplicated, so you can only have them once on the entire cube. So just input the 3 that you have that you see on the jump pad, and then interact with the eye, and you'll be able to pick up the wonder weapon. When that wonder weapon spawns in, you'll then get a load of green orbs spawned into that room. If you shoot the wonder weapon at the green orb and then hold down the reload button, you'll suck that green orb towards you, and once you've done all of the room and cleansed the room of all of those green orbs by doing the same thing, you will have the wonder weapon permanently. To get the final part of the serum, we now need to wait until a Zerser, or a bear, spawns into the map on round 16. You need to kill the bear with the upgraded Magua heads that you placed on your car earlier. It will then drop the final piece. You can now make your way over to Ashwoods and go inside of this room where we'll see a mirror on the wall. We need to activate the new perk inside of this map called Wisp T directly in front of that mirror, and you'll see the mirror will then change to show an image. You can now use the wonder weapon on that mirror and it will break, and you'll notice you can now pick up the chalk that is now on the ground. Now if we make our way to the Cosmodrome, you'll see all of those ingredients in front of us inside of this lab. If you interact with the chalk, you'll then get a code on the wall. So that code is spelling 3 different words, and it's spelling the words that you have in front of you actually in those golden bowls. From left to right inside of those golden bowls, you have Talus, Conch, Fungi, Oculi, and Limb. And this on screen right now is how you translate the code that you have on the wall to one of those 5 things. Either Talus, Conch, Fungi, Oculi, or Limb. Once you've translated, you interact with those 3 items that you have on your code in that correct order on the plates in front of you. It will then give you a prompt to add blood, and this will start a lockdown where your health will not regen, so you must be careful. After that lockdown is finished, you now need to find 3 keys inside of the map. There's going to be 3 different spawns in 3 different locations, and these change every single game. You need to find a red key, a green key, and a yellow key. The red key can be found inside of the Order Graveyard area of the map, and the first 2 locations of this red key can be found inside of the Dinosaur Heads, and the final location can be found up at the top area of the Order Graveyard behind this vehicle. You need to use your wonder weapon sucking ability to suck it towards you and then pick it up. Each of these keys will have a different effect that happens to your screen when you pick it up. The red key will affect you in a way where you cannot regen health, so make sure you've got the car near you. And your aim is to take this all the way back next to the Ruby Rabbit inside of Ashwoods and place it on this triangle thing that's now spawned in. Now that you've done the red key, you're now going to do the green key. The green key is located in the grounded ship area of the map, and you obtain it the same way with the wonder weapon that you did with the red key, with that sucking ability. The 3 locations are as follows for the grounded ship area. Inside of this window where we have it inside of our game, you can also have it underneath the ship between these barrels, and you can also have it up on top, similar to where we got it, but it's going to be in this shipping container instead. The effect once you pick this key up is that you will not be able to sprint. This is really, really difficult. So make sure you either backpedal like I do here, constantly meleeing with a specific augment on, which regens your health, or you just get straight in the car and zoom out of there. This is very difficult. Go back to Ashwoods again, interact with the rock, and that key will be done. And finally, the final key is the yellow key. You make your way inside of the next location, which is between the Cosmodrome and Ashwoods, and the 3 locations are as follows. The downed pylon that crosses across the entirety of this area. You can also get it where we get it inside of this game, which is near the Cosmodrome itself up top here, and suck it down. And then the final location is over actually on the cliff near Ashwoods, where you can see on screen right now. The effects of this key when picking it up will make you have a melee weapon only. It's not the worst one to have, it's probably the easiest one to do. Once you've got that, once again, make your way back to Ashwoods, place it inside of this object, and you will have finished that step, and now you'll get your first cutscene of the map. Once the cutscene's done, you will have a Tesla part that you can now upgrade down inside of the garage in Ashwoods once again. This will add a Tesla gun to your car. You now need to shoot the Tesla gun at the clock that is now spawning inside of Ashwoods, then use your wonder weapon on the clock, suck it back, and your wonder weapon will turn purple. Go to the exit 115 diner on a round where you have lightning on that diner. There'll be 3 different types of lightning colors. Your job now is to shoot the wonder weapon at the clock inside of the diner to start this step. And you'll have 3 specific things that you have to do to complete this. You've got to ram your Tessy vehicle into this truck to open it and revive the trucker next to you. Then take that trucker who's now revived over to the roof with the red lightning and get him to stand in the red lightning. Once one of them is into their lightning, you will never have to do theirs again. So this might take you a few times, but you will never have to do the same one that you've already completed. To revive another person, you're going to spawn Klouse into the map and bring it over to this mechanic that's down inside of the garage. Klouse will stamp next to him, reviving him, and you're going to bring him to the rooftop once again and take him inside of the yellow lightning. I'm finally going to have Melee Macchiato go inside of the diner and melee next to this woman laying on the ground. Melee the cash register. This will wake her up, revive her, and you're going to take her to the roof of the diner where you'll see blue lightning. Once you have all 3 of those people in the lightning, the step will be done. Once again, you might have to do this a few times. This clock step can only be done once per round, and the lightning step can only be done once every 2 rounds. This might take a little bit of time, but that's exactly how you do it. So after you've done that, you're going to be shooting the clock again with the Tesla gun to make the clock turn purple on the following round. Then using the wonder weapon again on the clock, sucking it up, and your gun will turn purple again. Make your way to the Cosmodrome, and you're going to be shooting the spinning satellites. This will slow those satellites down. You're going to do this to both of the satellites. So go back to Ashwoods, get a purple gun again, come back to Cosmodrome and shoot the second one. After you've done that, the computer screens will then turn on inside of this room inside of the Cosmodrome. You'll see these 2 screens that are going to cycle between 2 letters at a time, spelling a 6-letter word. And they're going to be using the exact same translation that we used earlier inside of the chemistry step. So once again, it's on screen for you right now. They're going to cycle through and tell you the word that you're going to spell. At the minute, we've only ever had 4 words with this, which is engine, rocket, launch, and weapon. And we're going to be typing this word into the computer screens in front that have numbers flashing. These numbers correspond with a letter in the alphabet, but we're going to be starting out with A as 0, and then B as 1, and C as 2, and so on and so forth. So by the time you get to the end of the alphabet, it would be Z or Z as 25. When the screen is showing the correct number that correlates to what you're trying to type in, you shoot the red button on that screen. That will input the correct number/letter and then spelling the word after you've done all of these 6 screens. This will then start the launch sequence and send the rocket into the sky. Once again, go back to Ashwoods, shoot the clock with a Tesla gun, turn it purple, and then suck it up with your wonder weapon, getting another purple gun. You're now going to be jumping over to farm. If you go inside a farm, you'll notice a clock on the wall, and this clock will tell you a time. It'll either tell you 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or 6 o'clock. Your job is to stand on the time that's etched into the wooden floor around the table. So in our game right now, we have the number 12, so we stand on the 12 mark on the floor. The man at the table's head will turn around while you are stood on this marker. Wait until his eyes turn red and then shoot him with that upgraded wonder weapon that's purple. This will then start the step. You can now go and find 4 items around the farm area that we're going to need for a ritual. The first item is a teddy bear that can be found in the upstairs of the room that you are already in. Go upstairs, find it inside of this cabinet. The next item that you can find is inside of the garage. It's going to be located on this craftable table, or what looks like a craftable table. Another item that you can get is going to be a chalice that's located underground inside of the bathtub. And finally, a 4th location of an item is going to be in the barn in the corner. Once you have all items, you'll be able to go outside, see the 4 ritual spots you're supposed to place these on, place them all down, and it'll start a ritual. You've got to make sure that you defend each of these ritual items and make sure they don't get destroyed from zombies. If you've done this correctly, you'll be able to finish this step and then make your way back once again to Ashwoods, shooting the clock on the next round, turning the clock purple, using your wonder weapon to get a purple wonder weapon, and then making your way finally to Blackwater. Inside of Blackwater, you're going to be going down to the docks area where you can interact with this light. Then we're going to be going over and shooting the projector inside of the Blackwater building with our wonder weapon that's now purple. This will then cycle through 4 images on that projector. This is going to show you the order that we're going to be shooting these following projector reels. So inside of my game, it won't be the same order order as you have in your game. It'll show you the fishing cabin, it will show you the shed, it will show you the front of the house and the back of the house. And inside of my game, these will be a different order, but here are the locations. The back of the house location, you're going to be shooting this reel on the ground right here. For the front of the house location, we're going to be shooting the reel at the top of the stairs. For the location inside of the shed, we're going to be shooting this reel that we have near the dartboard. And finally, for the fishing hut, we're going to be shooting the reel that's in the rafters. If you've done this correctly in the right order, you'll be able to bring Klouse in and spawn him at the top floor next to this bed. You'll be able to interact with this box. Klouse will pick up a piece out of this box and then make his way down to the dock where you can interact with him and start the boss fight encounter. You now need to make sure that you have Tessy available in the location that you are currently in. When the encounter starts, you're going to be driving Tessy through each of the locations around the map. So between Blackwater and Janus Towers, between Janus Towers and Farm, between Farm and Ashwood, and between Ashwood and Blackwater. In each of these locations that we're driving through, there'll be 3 red and white light wisp things that we've got to drive through. 3 in each location. If you miss one, you will fail. If you get all 3 in all of the locations, equaling 12 in total, in a good amount of time, that will then push you directly into the boss fight. Now, this boss fight is crazy. You've got to make sure that you drive Tessy into the boss fight itself. When you hit the boss, it should open another mouth on the boss fight, and then you shoot the Tesla gun on Tessy into that mouth. The attacks on this boss fight are insane. When the boss has immunity, you drive into the light that spawns inside of the boss arena with Tessy, and then drive into the boss again. That will then break the immunity, and then you can shoot the underside of the boss. My advice is to use the Tesla gun. It's very difficult right now, so just straight up, good luck. But there you go. That is the Easter egg guide for Ashes of the Damned. If this has helped you out and helped you get to the boss fight, make sure you click that like button right now. Smash the subscribe button if you are brand new to become the latest member of Pizza Club. I'll see you guys in the next video or the next live stream. Thank you very much for watching, and peace out.